I'm sure we can get a couple. Yeah, it's just black.
Well, that's true. At least we won't have all the questions.
Well, that is correct.
See you later.
Do we have cameras in here to live stream?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where? Oh, up on
Oh,
the
that's
ceiling.
kinda-
Has Ed been here?
Well, see, that's where I'm like,
I haven't seen him either.
Hey, Mayor,
Okay.
he's got a hammer in his bag.
Is it concealed carry hammer? I am staying late on Monday the 23rd.
Okay, the 23rd I won't be here because I have to.
No. I'm doing it Monday. The 24th is.
October 10th council meeting to order. Chief Huntley, would you give the invocation, please?
Yes, Your Honor. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for today, Lord. We thank you for everyone that's gathered. Health or depression. Loved ones that are dealing with them. Watch over them and comfort them. Watch over those that are watching over us every day.
Amen. Chief Hawkins, would you lead us in the pledge?
Yes, Your Honor. I pledge
Okay, once again, we're live streaming tonight, so please, everyone, remember to speak into your mics and speak clearly. So it's a little different setup than we're used to, but I think it'll go well. And I want to thank Carthage Water and Electric immensely for setting this room up. You guys have done a great job, and I appreciate the hospitality and allowing us to hold the meeting here. It's obviously a lot more room and it's going to work well, and I think that was over and above. So thank you all very much. All right, the clerk will call the roll.
Enzer,
Present?
Taylor,
Present.
Blankenship,
Present.
Armstrong,
here.
Blair,
Present.
Heckmaster,
Present.
Hardesty, Snow,
Here.
Eliff,
Here.
Causey.
Here.
All right, we'll move on to reading and consideration of minutes of the previous meeting. Mr. Ella.
Your Honor, I move we approve the minutes of the September 26, 2023 council meeting.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to approve the minutes as written. Any discussion?
Your Honor, I do have a question about it. Let me find it. I apologize for not having it pulled up. I saw in here, under the comments, that Mrs. Blair had asked, it was under closing comments, let me get that far. Mrs. Blair, well, I can summarize it. She had asked for the reason not having the meeting moved. And when I read it in the minutes, it looked a little bit confusing because we'd had so many motions to move the meetings. And I believe what she was talking about in that meeting was the meeting for that night. So I would like to amend the meetings to have it read that current council meeting.
Okay. So is that a
I'm
motion?
sorry, that is a motion to amend that to clarify that it was that night's council
For
meeting.
the
Second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second to amend the meeting, or amend the minutes to reflect that the council meeting in question was the last council meeting.
Correct.
All right. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. All right, we'll move on to public comments.
Don't we need a motion?
Anyone wishing to address the council, please step to the podium, state your name and address, and your business. You will. Oh,
As an
we do. All right. So we need a motion to accept the minutes as amended, I guess.
So moved.
Second.
Have a motion and a second to accept the minutes as amended. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. And we'll move on to public comments. Anyone wishing to address the council, step to the podium, state your name and address, and you will be allowed 5 minutes.
Jack Cruza, 701 East Highland. I hadn't planned to speak tonight until I went through the council packet earlier today, and when it got to the part about the forensic audit update, it concerned me, and so I contacted a very good friend of mine who's a retired judge. Most of you will know who he was, but what he said was, after he reviewed the documents, was oddly enough, the report said absolutely nothing about having determined that a crime had been committed. And so it seemed like a bit of a stretch for our police chief to say that a crime had been committed. And wouldn't it make more sense to wait until the report was finalized and that you could then determine what the report said and whether or not it appeared that a crime had been committed? Obviously, no crime is a crime until there's a conviction of a crime. But all of that just didn't make sense to me. And why not wait until you have the report and you have some input from the prosecutor as to whether or not he wants to proceed with criminal charges? So it was just concerning to me, and I would expect that the city attorney would not have, it just becomes very prejudicial. And if the city attorney reviewed that, would he say it's okay to publish that? But anyway, it just concerns me as to why there was pressure for that statement to be made until we get on down the road and we know what we have in front of us. So anyway, it just I just feel that I needed to voice my concern about timing, and was there pressure on the police chief to make a statement, and if so, who exerted that pressure, and was it appropriate? That's all I would say.
Thank you.
Good evening. As you know by now, I'm Bill Putnam. I live at 624 Bel Air, and I'm here to say some positive things tonight about what's been going on. First of all, I want to add my thanks to the folks who put this up tonight, for the council agreeing to move to larger chambers. I think they've done a fantastic job getting this laid out tonight, and thank you all for being willing to accommodate the public and move to these larger quarters. The other thing that I wanted to do is to introduce my grandson. Walker, would you stand up, Walker? Oh, you can wave, that's okay. Walker is working on his Eagle Scout, and he is trying to join the ranks of Mayor Rife and City Attorney Dowley as being Eagle Scouts. This is, I think, the last merit badge he needs. His communication merit badge is to attend a city council meeting, and he's supposed to comment on different points of view. So I'm encouraging you all to not be in unanimity tonight, you know, to exhibit some different points of view, so he's got some stuff to write down. Another reason that I wanted to come is to offer thanks to Zeb and his department. There's a a part of the city over on Bel Air and Euclid that has kind of been Never Never Land for a long time. There's a Center Parkway in both of those streets, and it's always a question as to who's supposed to take care of that property. And a couple of years ago, I talked to Zeb, and he said, well, the property owners are responsible for out to the curb. And I said, well, does that mean the city is responsible for the Center Parkway? And he said, yes, it does. But he said, if we mow it, he said, it may be once every 6 weeks or so. And tradition has been, since I was a young boy living on Bel Air in 1950, that the property owners always mowed that Center Parkway. And at the time that I called, I was calling because there were several trees that had died over the many years. And I was trying to get some replacement trees put in the parkway. So Zeb referred me to Mark Peterson, who was the park director at the time. And Mark said, yes, we've got a program in conjunction with Pinewood, and we can put some trees out there. And they came out a couple of years ago and replaced several of the maple trees. One of them died, and they put another one in to replace it. And then this year, when I called him, we had a dead tree, another big dead maple tree. And I called Zeb to ask about it, and his crew was there the next day and took that tree out and another stump that had been there for a long time. And so I just wanted to publicly thank Zeb and his people for being responsive and doing that. The last thing that I wanted to mention is to thank the council for putting in the budget this year funds for a dog park. I know that the dog park's been talked about in Carthage for a long time. I remember being involved in requests about 15 or 18 years ago when work was trying to get done to start a dog park. And that appears to be moving forward rapidly, and I just wanted to thank you all for answering that need and putting funds in the budget for a dog park. Thank you.
Thanks, Bill. All right. We'll move on to report of standing committees. Budget, Ways and Means, Chairman Snow.
Thank you, Your Honor. Budget Ways and Means Committee met last night in council chambers. We had a couple things on the agenda last night. The first item that we discussed was the MOU with CEDC for the management of the industrial park land that we were working on getting purchased. That's on the agenda tonight, Council Bill 2371 for first reading. We did have some good discussion last night with Mr. Meredith, who was there from the CEDC to answer a couple questions that we had. But the Budget Committee did vote to forward that to full council for approval. Next item on the agenda was budget adjustment for a programs budget for the Parks and Recreation Department. Everyone knows that Parks and Recreation are going to start doing recreation, and they're going to be running the youth baseball. They've got some other special, I don't know, they threw out a couple things last night, a dance class, possibly a painting class. So there was no budget currently for those activities. So the committee did approve a $25,000 budget that will be coming to council in the future for a budget adjustment to be voted on by the council. After that, we heard that our retail sales tax is down again this month. It's kind of a little bit concerning because some of the things that are funded with that retail sales tax, stormwater, there's parks, some of those types of things that are funded by that sales tax, our revenue is down. I'm sure Ms. Cox may report more later on what the exact numbers were, but she reported that they are down, and this is, I believe, the third month in a row that those retail sales taxes are down. Our use tax revenue, on the other hand, is up above budgeted revenues, and that's for the third month in a row. So our use tax really is coming in good. We do still have this year, the use tax is still earmarked for those special funds that we had set out in the election. And so we will see a little bit more revenue in that use tax this year. Our next budget meeting will be November 13th at 5:30 in council chambers. Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, thank you, sir. Committee on Insurance Audit and Claims, Chairperson Blair.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The Committee on Insurance, Audit, and Claims met this evening at 5:30 here in CWEB's community room. We heard from Ms. Cox. She was discussing the letter that the mayor had sent out to council and to CWEB regarding the combined committee, moving forward with that, and then also proceeding with Lockton. We also heard from some citizens, Ron Ross and Darren Collier, discussing what that committee would look like. And we heard from the mayor that there would likely be new people, but there would still be equal parts, and that committee will serve in addition to the full council and board meeting that we had talked about last council meeting. That is tentatively planned for November 28th. And there was some discussion on, do we make that part of council, or do we adjourn council and turn it into a work session to afford a little bit more flexibility and communication? One of the citizens recommended that we have a moderator and that we have an agenda that goes out as soon as possible, so people have time to prepare. So that will be a conversation we will continue to have, I presume, as a council. So at this time, I motion that we, as a council, allow the mayor to move forward in appointing that committee and proceeding and accepting the Lockton.
I second.
Have a motion and a second to allow the moving forward with the salary study with Lockton as the provider, and also to put together the committee from the board and staff of Water and Electric and the council and staff of the city to ensure that all the information needed for the study is provided. Any discussion?
I just have one quick question, and I apologize for not asking it in the earlier committee. We were looking at the minutes between sessions, and so it looks like the letter that you sent out, and I apologize again for not catching this, the letter that you had sent out mentioned that it was going to be a committee made up of CWEP board members and people from the city staff, but then in the insurance audit and claims, there was a discussion of possibly appointing city council members to that as well. So I just wanted to clarify, is that the intention?
There will be council members and staff from the city, and then board members and staff from Water and Electric. So,
Okay, great.
yep,
Thank you so
yep,
much for clarifying.
Yep. All right, any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Ms. Cox also reported that she and Michael Miller will be meeting with BIMDIC Agency to review renewals of employee health insurance. And Ms. Cossey inquired about the forensic audit to clarify when we can learn more information. And Mr. Dagnan said that the meeting currently, they've got planned for Friday, and that there is some discussion on the utility of meeting with them or hearing from them before the audit is complete. So maybe we'll know more on Friday. Our next meeting is scheduled for October 20th at 5:30, I presume here in CWEB Community Room. And that is all.
All right, thank you. Public Safety Committee, Chairman Eliff.
Thank you, Your Honor. Public safety is between meetings. Next meeting is next Monday night, the 16th, 5:30 in council chambers. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Public Services Committee. I guess Vice Chair Blankenship. I surprised you, didn't I? Yeah.
Well, I am honestly not prepared of that one,
Yeah.
on that one, so didn't know Ed wasn't going to be here. Our next meeting is probably going to be in 2 more weeks, because next week we have, it's going to be the 17th at 5:30. Is that right? Yeah, next
Tuesday.
Tuesday. But I honestly cannot remember what anything new. I
That's,
think we talked about some of the Parks and Rec things when we were there. Abby, do you remember anything that I might have missed that day? Because we had that special meeting to go over some of the stuff for the
chemicals?
lava and the chemicals. Was there anything else that I might have missed?
Right, we approved the crushed lava, and then we also approved a purchase of golf chemicals for the season.
I think that was about it.
I think that
though.
about covers
Yeah.
it.
Okay, that was it. All right. Thank you.
I knew I was going to get you.
Yeah,
On
you
that
I
one,
didn't
so-
know he wasn't going to be here.
Not a problem. All right. Public Works Committee, Chairman Armstrong.
Thank you, Your Honor. Public Works met October 3rd at 5:30 in City Hall. We had several items on the agenda. First item on the agenda was to discuss garbage fee increase. Those are set by contract, which cannot exceed 3% each year, so that will be a council bill, which we look at. And for those not aware, the garbage collection fee is negotiated through Public Works Committee and then approved by the city council, but the fee collector for the city is Carthage Water and Electric. So the increase of 3%, once approved, will go on the water and electric bill for trash pickup. Another thing that we talked about was we looked at the comprehensive plan, which was coming from planning and zoning. The committee wanted a little more time to review that, so that will be coming back next time. Then hopefully the plan is to review that at the committee level. If we do have any recommended changes, we will send that back to planning and zoning. If the committee is satisfied with the changes that have been made, that'll be forwarded on to council. We also looked at where we tentatively accepted a contract for the 3rd Street Bridge. That will be as a council bill as well tonight. And then we also considered and discussed a letter for tax credit financing for Highland Acres and Highland Meadows. This will be a reinvestment, which they have to do every so many years. That will be as a resolution. They are asking for a letter of support as they apply for additional funds and grants from the state. In addition, during staff reports, we did discuss some of the issues of the last council meeting where we talked about the HVAC issues which were taking place at City Hall. I'm happy to report that those have now been hopefully resolved, and yesterday a new $8,900 unit was installed on the roof. If you saw the pictures that the city posted, they had to bring a crane out to put it up. But hopefully those issues are now resolved, and when we are ready to move back into council chambers, everything will be nice and, well, at that point, we'll probably be warm.
Probably need heat.
Let's hope it's not cold. And that is it.
All right, thank you. Yes, sir. Can't hear me? All right, I will try to do better. Thank you. We'll move on to report of special committees and board liaisons. Mr. Eliff.
Thank you, Your Honor. Planning, Zoning, Historic Preservation met October the 2nd. On the agenda, we had a request for a special use permit from the new bistro that is located at 1249 South Garrison. They were requesting liquor by the drink that would require a special use permit. We did hear from the neighbor directly to the north, as well as church that's located at 501 Pine. They did not have objection to it, just had certain information, basically wanted to know if that business moved, would the next business coming in have that authority to have that, which it would not. It only goes with that individual business, and if they would move, then they would have to reapply somewhere else if it was needed. For that reason, you will see it as a resolution tonight instead of normally comes as a council bill. So the resolution meaning at a specific time it would happen, it would have an end time if that business would close or whatever. So that's why it's being proposed as a resolution. It's in the packet as resolution number 2011. Additionally, Planning and Zoning also approved sign for the bistro, and that is up and was taken care of. Basically, that was the only business that came before Planning and Zoning. Next meeting is scheduled for November the 6th at 5:30 in council chambers. Also attended Jasper County Commission meetings, and basically, there's nothing really to report that would affect the city. Thank you, sir.
All right, thank you.
Your Honor, the library board met this evening at 5:15 in the boardroom. They reported that they were able last week to attend the meeting in Columbia for the Missouri Library Association. And they just raved about the things that they learned, and it gave them a new appreciation for their library and how well their board supports them. That's not always the case throughout the state. On October 24th, they will host a STEAM workshop, and this is for librarians and teachers across the four-state area, and that will be coordinated by Sherry Luce, the children's administrator. They also reported that they will be handing out candy and books on Halloween, and they should have a special fairy godmother there to help pass that out. Very exciting. I know some of you guys were there today. They received the award from American in Bloom for the Steadley Family Legacy Center. There's only one award given for the whole United States, and it was the Innovation in Action Most Impressive New Project or Program Award. So that's very exciting, and we're very proud of them. They are also getting a new sidewalk poured tomorrow. They've resurfaced a parking lot. They've started coordinating story times with parents as teachers and plan to make that a monthly partnership. They will be hosting a Missouri State Workshop for STEM in October, and that's something for like a statewide meeting that they'll be hosting, so they're excited to plan for that. And for their Excel High School Diploma Program, they currently have 5 graduates, 6 active enrollments, 1 person working on the preliminary exam, 8 applications in waiting, and they recently received funding for 3 more students to enter that program. That funding came from the Thelma Stanley Trust. And they also do, they get applicants from a variety of places, maybe Joplin, Jasper, Avila, places like that. They do give priority for Carthage residents in that program, and they will meet again November 14th at 5:15 in the boardroom. Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Anyone else? Mr. Snow?
Thank you, Your Honor. Carthage Water and Electric Board has changed the date of their regular monthly board meeting from October 19th to October 25th. So I just wanted to make everyone aware of that. Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Ms. Blair?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The Carthage Humane Society is in between meetings, but I do want to remind everyone that this weekend is the Pickleball for Paws fundraiser in conjunction with Parks and Rec. It'll be on the 14th and 15th at Griggs, so go support that fundraiser.
All right, thank you. Anyone else? All right. Mayor's report. I got the opportunity to go down to the celebration in Central Park last Saturday for the Hispanic Heritage Month. And that event is getting bigger and bigger every year, and was just fantastic. If you didn't get a chance to go down there, I encourage you to next year. They had car shows going, they had bands playing, they had food trucks down there, all kinds of things for the kids to do. It was an impressive event, and I was happy to go down and see it, and as well as be able to read the proclamation for them. So that was very enjoyable. It amazes me how the difference from last year to this year, so I can't imagine what next year will be like. But all right, we'll move on to reporter remarks from council members. Ms. Enzer?
Nothing tonight, Your Honor.
Taylor?
Nothing tonight, Your Honor.
Ms. Blankenship?
Nothing tonight.
Mr. Armstrong?
I have a couple things I would like to add to the meeting tonight. First off, as far as the bistro goes, I've been able to go over a couple times and grab something to eat. I highly recommend the lemon cheesecake and the carrot cake. Both were excellent.
And I would recommend the macaroni and cheese and brisket.
There you go.
It is
Oh.
deadly, and you better be hungry.
I would say that the award, which was given for the revamping of the building, was well-earned.
Yes.
It looks great inside, and it's, instead of being a blight on Garrison, I think it's now one of the highlights, which is really nice to see something like that get turned around and redone. Secondly, I'd like to piggyback off of the comments made about the dog park by Mr. Putnam. I really feel great about this project. My very first week on city council, that was the very first call I got, was from a resident asking for a dog park. So I've had nothing to do with this, but I'm going to say that mission accomplished. So I can't wait to get out there. And then lastly, I was informed that we have 92 people in attendance this evening. So we have plenty of room for this meeting to grow for other citizens who wish to attend. I'd like to thank CWEP for getting this done quickly, and it looks great in here. I think just a bang-up job. Kudos to everybody involved. And, you know, I look forward to getting to go back to city council chambers. But until we do, I think this is a very nice home away from home. So thank you very much.
All right, thank you. Ms. Blair?
Nothing tonight.
I would like to thank CWEP as well for setting up the room. I also realized after the last meeting that we had not acknowledged Pat Goff and Danny Lambeth for their service to CWNEP. I'm not sure what the formal process is with that, but certainly we owe them a great thanks. That's all, Your Honor. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Snow?
Nothing tonight, Your Honor.
Mr. Eliff?
Nothing tonight, Your Honor.
Ms. Cossey?
Nothing tonight, Your Honor.
All right, we'll move on to administrative reports. Mr. Dally?
Walker Lasley here. We talked a little bit about Eagle Scouts last meeting at the end. There's been a long history of.
Your mic
I think I'd try to get away with it. I didn't realize there was a mute till I got here. We've had a long history of Eagle Scouts even within the city government. When I started here, sitting in the room, at one point in time, I think there were 5 of us that were Eagle Scouts besides Greg, myself, you, Brent Greniger, Randy Kaiser. I think we have 3 current, at least 1 current fire department member and 2 police officers that are Eagle Scouts. And we talked as my kids are moving through this troop now, as trying to do something more to recognize them as they come through. I think it was Greg who talked about it, and some of the other cities that do proclamations and stuff. So we're going to try to do that as we look at these people that get. I don't want to say too much about it because I am one. I'm not trying to toot my own horn. I had great scoutmasters. But it is an accomplishment that, not a lot of kids that start in scouting are able to get to. And so I think it's something we should recognize as they come through. As far as the audit goes, the letters that were sent by the auditor, I don't know if I've ever seen an auditor, in any of the cases I've ever done, make a declaration of a criminal act. I think it's more of a tool for the police to use, and the issue of what was pushed to the point at this point was, I believe there was a committee that was wishing to review the report as well as interview the auditors, which caused, I think, pushed the chief to the point that he needed to make a declaration that those were investigation reports now at this point. I don't ever get involved in what they decide is or isn't a crime until after the fact. They work in their own world, and I don't think we try to influence that. But it's, that's their decision, and I would just clarify that I don't know if they've talked to the prosecutor or not, but it is a she, not a he. That's the prosecutor for our county, and so I'm sure that when they talk with Teresa that they'll, or if they have already, will make that decision. But I don't think Bill can make a decision as to what he believes has occurred. based on his information from talking with the auditors and talking to the detectives for that matter, frankly. And that's mainly because investigation reports are not discoverable under Sunshine until after the fact, so. There should be, I guess that's on committee level, we've been working, I think, since March on a loitering and camping policy, and I think we met with, today, Bill and Chief Hawkins and Tracy and I met and went over some final touches on, there's issues with those things dealing with constitutionality of what you can or can't make people do, and so it's very similar pretty much across the board on these type of ordinances. They're all kind of mirror. There's a city, I want to say it's out of Wisconsin, maybe it's Minnesota, that went to the U.S. Supreme Court on camping and loitering. And so they're all kind of the same. The U.S. Supreme Court kind of outlined what you can and can't have. And so you'll see that going to committee next committee meeting, whenever their public safety committee meeting is again. And then talked about updating to the panhandling ordinance that we have currently. And so that may be on the next committee meeting also. I also had cheesecake from the bistro, and it was delicious. So that's all I have tonight. Thank you.
All right, thank you. I would just, a real quick comment here to commend Walker on his achievement and progress toward the Eagle. It's the one thing I did when I was 14 that I still put on my resume today. So there's very few things you can say that you achieved as a teenager that carries through on your resume as an adult. So congratulations.
I tell people I'm more proud of that than I am my degree from law school.
Yep.
So there's a lot more people with law degrees than there are Eagle Scouts. So.
That's true. All right, Chief Hawkins.
Thank you, Your Honor. I was going to address the letter, but thank you, Nate. I think you summed that up very nicely. And I would just like to kind of agree with what you said in that this is an ongoing investigation. That information is not for public release at this time. I wrote the letter because the letter needed to be written. Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Chief Huntley?
Yeah, just a couple good points. We are down 2 personnel right now, and we have been through all the hiring process. If they pass their physicals, those 2 will start November 2nd. We'll be back to full staff, and we have started and we have made major progress on our new fire engine. And if everything goes perfect, which I'm hoping it will, possibly by the end of February, we'll have a brand new engine in the house. So excited about that.
Very good. Thank you. Mr. Carney?
I have nothing to report tonight, Your Honor.
Ms. Almendinger?
I do have several things. I wanted to go back to Ms. Blankenship's report earlier. I did forget to mention true pitch mounds. So as we are taking over the Little League baseball, we are purchasing mounds that are portable mounds, specifically designed for Little League. So that was the other thing that we tackled that committee meeting. And then we have been waiting on boulders for Kellogg Lake for the playground. So you'll see that coming back into action this next week. They'll begin working on that. If you have noticed that the Central Park playground is missing, we did have that removed a couple weeks ago, and we did donate that to another community that was in need. And then here in the next month, you'll see the Griggs Park playground come out, as well as we're prepping for that to go in. So we're excited about all of the progress happening with the playgrounds. I've had the pleasure of working with not 1, but 2 potential Eagle Scouts. So the word is getting out that the Parks Department will take any and all potential Eagle Scout in their projects. So we're excited about that. There is one happening at Kellogg Lake this weekend, and then the one that everyone is talking about currently with Walker. We did receive a $10,000 Studley grant to assist in the dog park, and Walker is kind of leading the charge in the agility equipment that we are getting for those animals. So we're excited to be working with Walker on that and are very appreciative to the Studley Trust, as always. Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. As Alan said, I will go ahead and report on the sales tax revenues. And actually, for the month of October, they were up 4.37%, so just slightly compared to last year's numbers. However, our year-to-date is down approximately $28,000. Our use tax continues to come in very strong. It just amazes me every time I look at the numbers. The use tax at this time last year was approximately year-to-date $280,000. This year, we've already brought in approximately $495,000. So use tax revenues are up substantially compared to last year. So I guess this is a really good day to remind everyone to skip the Amazon Prime and shop local. Boost the sales tax instead of the use tax. Also, I would like to report that the city did receive its first grant reimbursement from the McCune Brooks Regional Hospital Trust Fund for progress on the Parks Master Plan. We did receive a check for approximately $821,000, and we're very thankful to them and their generosity in supporting our park system. That's all.
All right, thank you. Mr. Dagnan.
Thank you, Your Honor. I did want to, I'm not going to repeat anything that's already been said, but except for I did want to talk about the forensic auditor a little bit. The forensic auditor and the police are meeting quite frequently. I'm sure that there's information out there that is not available to the public or council. However, there was a specific request for a committee to meet with the forensic auditor. And I did speak with the forensic auditor, and while they said, you know, obviously it's work product paid for by the city and they'd be willing to meet, they were not very comfortable meeting with the committee because of the questions that might be asked that should not be public knowledge because of the ongoing criminal investigation. And they essentially wrote the letter that you find in your packet. So it was actually a compromise to a meeting that you ended up getting that letter. And then, of course, Chief Hawkins rightly wanted to remind us that there is a lot of information that we don't know that is part of the investigation that, you know, at this point, without the auditor being done, we really don't want that to get out until the investigation is done and the police decide what they're going to do with it. Staff did work on the proposal for the Carthage Water and Electric Compensation Study. You guys have all heard about that already. We are working on, we have had several meetings, we're working on a uniform purchasing purchasing policy. So one of the things that we have done for years, we've tried this a couple of times before, but everybody buys paper towels from a different place, all the different departments. Everybody buys notebook pads from a different place. And we are working on, and you'll see an RFP go out, we're trying to get bids for a uniform purchasing policy so that whatever the department needs might be, that we can buy it from one provider, hopefully save a lot of money. So we are working on that, trying that. I did have a interview with our city auditor, Rebecca from KPM. I think the audit went well, but of course they always have to do those management audits before they leave. And so I'm sure we'll be hearing from her in writing soon. I'd always like to remind you guys, the Economic Development Director, who I think is out here, and the Public Works Director and I met, and there are a lot of ongoing economic development things that sometimes you don't hear about right away because we're not supposed to talk about them right away, but we do meet quite frequently on several projects that are going on. And I forgot to mention this, it was in my report, but I forgot to mention it last time. So we did get a call from the Attorney General's office, and there has been a class action settlement on opioids with the opioid company providers. And that means that all the cities that are part of the class action, which includes us, get some money. And it was a very interesting call because they asked us what our plans for the money were. And we said, you know, how much money? And we were told, well, we don't know yet. And, well, does it have restrictions on it? Yes, it does. What are the restrictions? Well, we don't know yet. So we do have an upcoming webinar to learn about the opioid settlement, but I do believe that the city will be getting some money, and I do believe there'll be some restrictions on it, but probably money that we can use for some good. So that's pretty, to me, I was pretty excited about that. And, oh, and then also, we all forgot, to mention, even though staff's talked about it a lot, our marijuana tax started being collected this month. So in November, we will probably get our first check and see how that goes. That's all I have tonight, sir. Thank you.
All right, thank you. We'll move on to report of the Claims Committee.
The Committee on Claims filed a report in the amount of $3,003,576.37.
Ms. Blair?
I make a motion to accept the report and allow the claims.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to accept the report and allow the claims. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Seeing no old business, we'll move on to new business.
First reading of Council Bill 23-71, an ordinance to enter into a memorandum of understanding agreement with the Carthage Economic Development Corporation for the purchase and development of an industrial park in the city of Carthage, Missouri.
Any discussion?
You're muted.
I'm sorry. Okay. Your Honor, I have a question. Is this something that would be considered an emergency that would need a second reading? I know that there was questions about this not having been done yet.
No, I don't think it needs to.
Okay.
They're aware it's, so, yep. we're
Thank
good.
you.
So I just have a question. I know previously there had been some concern about this being held up with various other issues. Do we know, is this still moving forward at this point? So everything's on track now?
Yep.
Okay,
Right
great.
on track.
Thank you.
bet. Anything else? Mr. Snow?
So I can answer Ms. Inzer's question. Mr. Meredith, last night, that was one of the questions that came up, and right now, they have to get a couple more approvals. I believe the Water and Electric Board has to still approve this. But then the purchase of the land actually will probably take place by the end of November possibly, or they may wait till the end of the year because the property owner may want to wait until the new year to close on the property. So this isn't an emergency or anything like that.
Thank you, Mr. Snow.
All right. Anyone else? Okay.
First reading of Council Bill 23-72, an ordinance of the City of Carthage, Missouri, authorizing the mayor to execute an agreement between the City of Carthage, Missouri and the Missouri Highway and Transportation Commission, providing replacement of bridge on 3rd Street over a tributary of Spring River, number 0720003, in the City of Carthage, Missouri.
Any discussion? All right.
First reading of Council Bill 23-73, an ordinance adjusting the solid waste collection rates in the city of Carthage pursuant to the contract agreement entered into the first day of October 2019 by and between the city of Carthage, Missouri and Municipal Corporation and Republic Services of Galena, Kansas.
Any discussion?
I just had a
Snow?
question, Your Honor. Is this the last year of the current contract and then next year? No? I couldn't
No.
remember. Was it a 5-year contract?
Yeah, these are on a 5-year contract, and I believe we're in year 3 of the current contract cycle.
Thank you.
All righty, thank you. All right, we'll move on to resolutions.
Resolution 2011, a resolution authorizing a special use permit for the sale of liquor by the drink pursuant to Section 25-251, subsection 18, for 1249 South Garrison Avenue in the city of Carthage, Missouri.
Mr. Eliff?
Your Honor, I move we adopt Resolution 2011.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to adopt Resolution 2011. Any discussion? Cast your vote.
I am, it's got, go back. It was showing me in. Okay, okay. Okay, gotcha. I've been on it. You did it too. There. I was in. It must have logged me out.
Resolution stands adopted.
Okay. Sorry about that. Resolution 2012, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Carthage, Missouri, supporting an application by Preservation of Affordable Housing Incorporated for Missouri Housing Development Commission funding for low-income housing tax credits and tax-exempt mortgage financing for renovations to Highland Acres and Highland Meadows.
Your Honor, I'd like to move that we adopt Resolution 2012.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to adopt Resolution 2012. Any discussion? Mr. Ellen?
Your Honor, as a member of the Missouri Housing Development Commission, I will have to abstain on voting on this, but it is a good project.
All right, thank you. Anyone else? All right, cast your votes. All right, resolution stands adopted. That concludes our business for the evening. We'll move on to closing comments. Since Mr. Hardesty is not here, Mr. Snow.
Thank you, Your Honor. I forgot in my report, I was going to report that this month is the first month that we'll be collecting the marijuana tax. So if anyone hasn't started yet, go ahead. Let's get that revenue up. We don't know what it's going to be yet, so we're excited to see what it comes up. Secondly, I would like to again recognize the Carthage High School soccer team. At this point in the season, they have only lost one game. We have one of the players, Wele, has set a new single-season assist record for the high school, and they are playing tonight. So as soon as this meeting is over, I will be going to that meeting. Other than that, that's all I have, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Mr. Ellen?
Nothing tonight, Your Honor. Thank you.
Ms. Cossey?
So Mr. Snow is always very adamant about making sure we know about the high school sports, and I think that's excellent. Go Tigers, right? So I just want to make sure that everybody knows that the Carthage High School's debate team is having their first debate tournament this coming weekend. So, and they're having it at Carthage, so go Carthage debate team. Also, I want to join everyone in thanking CWEP for setting this up for us so quickly and so well. Really nice facilities, really nice setup. I really appreciate it. And then finally, as always, I want to thank everyone for coming. 92 people at a meeting, that is really fantastic. And I'm glad we have seats for everyone so everybody can sit through the meeting comfortably. I think this is really great that everybody was able to attend tonight. That's all I have.
All right, thank you. Ms. Enter?
I have a quick question. Michael, can you tell me how many are on the live stream? Awesome. And I would like to piggyback on thanking CWEP. These are beautiful facilities, so I'm glad that we have access to this, and I appreciate that very much. And Walker, I am very proud of you, buddy. I'm very proud of you. I'm very excited about the dog park, and I'm happy that you have had some input on that. So congratulations on your perseverance. We are all, as a council and as a community, very proud of you.
All right, Mr. Taylor?
As another Eagle Scout, I want to also congratulate the young man because I know how hard it is to get that far. I'd also like to piggyback on everybody else and thank CWEP. It was an awesome job. And to thank everyone for coming this evening. That's all.
Ms. Blankenship.
Well, I was born in this building, so it's kind of nice to be back. I don't think it was in this room, but it really is nice in here, so thank you.
Mr. Armstrong.
So we've had nothing of controversy to speak of this evening, so I got to throw a little something out there. Not all of us were Eagle Scouts or part of the Eagle system. Some of us were members of the Royal Ambassadors, and I am a proud crusader of the Royal Ambassadors, so you can take that and take your Eagle Scouts and just do whatever you want with it. Go Royal Ambassadors.
Royal Ambassador. All right.
Well, I feel
Ms.
like I
Blair?
should represent for the Girl Scouts as another great community organization that my girls are part of now, and add to the choir here about my gratitude for CWEP's hospitality and for your all's participation. We appreciate it.
Ms. Heckmaster.
Next week, our community celebrates a really special event, Maple Leaf. There are many people here, I'm sure, that are working hard towards the parade and other activities, and I'd just like to thank you all and encourage everyone to go out there and have fun. And is this where I get to say, Your Honor, I move we close this meeting, end this meeting, whatever the proper terminology is.
Your Honor, I second the motion to
I have a
adjourn.
motion and a second to